Yeah.
Wow. Now, what about you actually go through a physical transformation as well? We won't get too much into that, but were there prosthetics involved?
Yeah, that was the big surprise for me on the film. It was like, surprise, you're going to do 6 hours of prosthetics on your big days. And that's before the call time, you know. So you come in at 2 in the morning and everyone, you know, so you're working like a 16 or 18 hour day sometimes, which was the extra little surprise bit for me. But it was awesome. I had really good prosthetics people. Sarah Urbano was my lead prosthetic makeup artist, and she was just awesome to kind of, when you're under that kind of, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning, having slept for 4 hours thing, you got to have cool people. And we had some of the best times on the film was actually with my prosthetics team, you know, in the morning. So I have to say I enjoyed it because of that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, aside from the kind of the obvious parallels that the setting for the film, you know, draws with real life,
yes,
why do you think it was important to set the movie in South Africa as opposed to, you know, New York or, you know, Paris?
Well, I mean, Neil would have his own reasons for that. I mean, what was really important to me was I really enjoyed the idea of playing an Afrikaans. I'm an English white South African. The other sort of white group in South are the Afrikaners, who are the guys who implemented apartheid. They're sort of seen by the world as the bad guys for that system, obviously. So they sit with very much that rap. But you know, what happened from 1991, from the release of Nelson Mandela, you know, people kind of forget, like, the Afrikaners voluntarily did that. Like, they voluntarily, it's not a situation, you know, where there was a war, where there was something, you know, there was something bad was happening, and the consciousness kind of grew amongst people to go through whatever, to different pressures that were on them, etc. at the time. But at the end of the day, to say, you know what, this isn't actually how we should be. We want a democratic system, and they voted overwhelmingly for that. And so to actually be able to play an Afrikaans character that is a hero character, in a sense, for me, I think is important for South Africa, and it's important for Afrikaners in South Africa as well, you know, to see that, because there's a lot of kind of, I think, guilt still on those people, you know, for that. So that was just an interesting side of the film for me, you know, personally as a South African, just to be able to do something that shows that, yes, South Africa did have that, but it's actually become a world leader in dealing with these kinds of issues. You know, what is it like to have really different cultural people trying to live? You know, we got a president now that's got, you know, 10 or 12 or however many wives the dude has, you know, really different cultural situations, but you're still functioning in a democracy. You know, it's challenging, but we've got a lot to offer in that sense. Yeah.
Now let's shift from South Africa to San Diego.
Yeah.
How important was it for you guys to bring the film here and have a presence here?
Well, I mean, I've just been amazed by the fact that the film's been well received by Americans, and I think particularly the thing with Comic-Con is actually being able, last night was just amazing to me to actually talk to people who are going to watch the film, you know, talk to them afterwards about what they liked, what they didn't like. I've always, as a filmmaker, I've believed quite strongly that it's particularly America, you know, there's this kind of stereotypical outside of America, this image that Americans are very closed off from the rest of the world, you know, and they won't watch it if it doesn't have an American accent, and they wouldn't be interested in that. And I was always like, you know, I don't know, man. And then you'd see stuff like Borat came out, you know, a couple of years ago, and Americans are responding to that. Yes, they do, you know, understand the accent. They're not these kind of ignorant people sitting in a, you know, so it was awesome, I think, that we've been able to make this film and kind of demonstrate that, I think, to a lot of people, that there is a need for this kind of thing, you know, in Hollywood. Peter's support has allowed us to make something really unique, and it seems so far to be being really well received, you know, and I think we'll see more of it if it is. So this kind of work, you know, different stuff.